YouTube, it's Nikki from Nikki Lily, and today I wanted to do a autumn inspired baking video. Autumn is definitely here now, and as you can see by the setup, I'm definitely in the autumn spirit. My recipe for toffee apple cupcakes. This recipe is so good and I can't wait to share it with you guys. So yeah, let's go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by putting the sugar, butter, milk, and 2 eggs into this bowl. I'm going to mix this up lightly and then add in some of the dry ingredients. Mix that on a low speed till it's just combined. And whilst I'm doing that, I'm just going to grab all of my ingredients that are dry. 2 teaspoons of baking powder, the cinnamon and salt, bowl of flour. I'm going to add in about half of this. I'll add in the other half once this part of flour's been mixed in. At the start, it's not going to look particularly nice because it's just going to look a bit clumpy and sloshy. Whilst that's beating, and once it's finished beating, I'm going to grab 2 apples, and these are eating apples, and I am just going to peel them and then thinly cut them into about triangles or squares, just so they're not too heavy for the mixture, so they sink to the bottom. What I'm just going to quickly do is work the speed up a bit higher, just so it knocks out any of the big clumps of flour, and then it will be done. I haven't done a baking video in so long, so I'm very excited. And autumn's all about baking. So you just want to cut around the core. If you have a corer, then of course use that, it's a lot easier, but I can't find my corer today. I'm just going to have to cut around the core, and some people don't have a corer. Slice the apple into sort of little segments in a way, and like half moons. And then you want to cut those half moons into about 3 or 4. This one I've cut into 4, so it just depends on how big the segment is. And then you can actually stack them all up, and then it makes cutting a lot quicker. And as you saw, the mixture is so easy. The most time consuming bit is literally just adding in the apple and cutting it up. So yeah. I'm just going to spatula around the sides and make sure everything is mixed in. Mix. I have just added in the second apple chopped up into the mixture, and I'm just going to slowly, just lightly stir it in. You don't want to overwork the mix, especially now the apple's in, because otherwise the apple can go mushy. So I'm just literally slowly, you can smell that cinnamon and that apple in there. It just reminds me of autumn. Spatula around the sides and make sure everything is mixed in. Like so. It looks so good. I have these little butterscotch toffee pieces, and what you want to do is spoon in half the mixture into each cake, and then you spoon the other half of the mixture on top. So I'm just going to get that, and I'm going to try and do this neatly because I'm not the neatest baker. It's sort of a part of baking, and it makes it in a way a bit more fun, but the washing up's not very fun. I'd love it if you guys made these, seriously, and if you do, put this on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, or you can even send it to me on Snapchat with the hashtag Nikki's Autumn Cupcakes. I had to think about what to hashtag that. So I think we've done a good job with that. There's about half of the mix left. Butterscotch toffee pieces, add about a pinch and a half. I'm going to put the rest of the mixture on, and this is when you don't really need to worry about how much mixture you add. Pop these in the oven now for 190 degrees C for 30 to 35 minutes, and I will check back to you once they are done. Now we're making apple chips, And these are just little decorations, you really don't need to do this, but I'm going the whole hog today. And so for this you'll need 2 apples. And sometimes I end up needing more apple chips for this and sometimes less. Usually I end up with more apple chips than I need, but you can just eat them if you like apples, or you can save them for a snack. And so for this you'll need 2 eating apples, oopsie, and then a little bit of cinnamon if you want to flavour them. And you just want to cut through the core and just do thin slices of apple, not too thin that they burn, but thin enough that they'll cook. I'm going to pop these in the oven preheated at 140 degrees C. Again, I'll leave the American oven temperature for that. Grab some cinnamon and shake it all over. Whilst they are in the oven and these are cooling, it is time to make the wonderful caramel cream cheese icing. So you want to start off by putting your salted butter into the mixer. I just need to pull it up. Scrape it and scrape that in. And I've got a ladle and I'm just going to put about 1 ladle into that. Now I've got my trusty spatula and I'm just spatularing around. Is spatularing a word? I'm going to make it one if it's not. Spatularing around the sides to make sure all of the mixture and ingredients in the icing are incorporated, and then I'm going to continue beating the mixture. Whilst that's beating, I'm just going to continue licking the spatula. Now it is time to add in your cream cheese. So I'm just going to add that in. Then after that, your caramel. I've got the icing in a star tip nozzle in a piping bag. So I'm just going to pipe this on. And if you feel like your icing's a little bit too runny, then you can always put it in the fridge. So I'm just going to twist the top off and do it. And as you pipe more and more of them, you'll get better and better at it. So now I'm going to pop in my apple chips. This bit's optional, but I've just got some salted caramel, so just my caramel recipe with a little bit of sea salt added, and I'm just going to drizzle that onto my cupcakes.
Should eat it tomorrow.
And so it is time for the taste test. I'm so excited. They look super duper yummy, and they've just been in the fridge to set slightly so the icing can set. Okay, so now it's the taste test. It's so good. And you can taste every single flavour. I can taste a bit of the cinnamon. I like that little apple chip because it sort of like dissolves in your mouth. Guys, it's so good. I'm just going to go and finish eating this now. I really hope you enjoyed.